Good morning, everybody. This is Rick Bannister again. I'm the CEO and founder of Neighborhood Bridges, and I'm so excited to have with us today Jennifer McGriff, who is our volunteer area director of Neighborhood Bridges in Etowah County, Alabama. And we also have Hope Whitaker, who is a social worker, right, with
Yes,
Etowah County Schools. And so thanks to both of you for joining me today.
Thanks for having
thank
us.
you.
Yeah. So, Hope, what we've been doing, just during the holiday season, in launching this podcast is spending time and visiting with our advocates, the 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 first responders in the school settings for children who are at risk or in greatest need. So school counselors and social workers. And so, first of all, thank you for what you do in Etowah County. I want to say thank you to both of you. And Neighborhood Bridges is something that I created actually for you as a tool, so that we could engage the entire community to help. So with that, what can you share with us specific ways that you've seen in your great work where Neighborhood Bridges has been able to impact students and maybe how they've responded to that?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm a school social worker in our system, but I'm assigned to 7 different schools from anywhere from pre-K on up to 12th grade. So I have a lot of families that generally about 200 families per school year that I work with. And so the needs are always there, and sometimes it is in an urgent situation. So instead of having to send families to another community resource where they may have to set an appointment or do paperwork or transportation, which is obviously an obstacle for a lot of them, it is such a blessing to have Neighborhood Bridges where we can bring that to them rather than have to send them into a lot of a lot of steps that may be impossible for them to be able to make. So that thank you for creating that, number one, because we have utilized that service so much, and our community has been a blessing for fulfilling those urgent needs. For instance, I will share with you, I've got several, but that would take a long time for me to tell you everything, but I'll just tell you one that was really special to me. That was this school year. We had two girls in elementary school that had they enrolled in one of our school systems that through our homeless situation, but they were in the care of their grandmother, and she relocated here because she was evicted from her home. Their biological mother had passed away about 2 years ago, and their father is also homeless, lives in another part of the state, and is going through treatment for mental health stuff. So there was a lot of financial concerns there. So they came to our school with nothing, the girls. And so I knew that I was going to need a lot in a short time so that they could start school, as far as necessities like clothing, shoes, that sort of thing. So I reached out to Jennifer and she posted that. And I started getting calls because it really was something that people wanted to help with. So I had the joy of taking some of the new things. Somebody that had an organization had gone out shopping, and they said, come pick this up, and we've got everything you needed, because I gave them the sizes and the things that kind of needed. And so when I went to the elementary school and called the girls up to see their new things, they just lit up because they had nothing, and they didn't really even ask for anything specific, but you could see that they were just like, this is my favorite color, or this is and they would just try on something and would be so excited over just basic things, hairbrushes even, and new shoes. And so that was really an awesome thing, because again, they were starting school, had no clothes, had no even undergarments and that sort of thing that they needed. And so that was really exciting. And I still had other people reaching out and giving gift cards. So I was able to gift that to the grandmother for future things that needed, like necessities or something. So
it was interesting because Hope, I said, hey, I'm still getting emails on this need. Yeah. She's like, well, I think I have everything taken care of.
They had, yes, they still so, had, they, yes, because it was such a big response from the community. Yeah. So and then I still check on the girls, and when I do, it's so exciting to see them wearing their new things. Or I went one day unannounced just to check on them, or to give them some extra things, that had come through donations, and they were proudly wearing their new clothes. So it helped them to feel a part. They were in a new school, and they were living with other people that they had to, since they're homeless. It's just a really sad situation. So that not only met their needs of having clothing and things, but it also made them feel like they were like other kids, and that kind of built their self-esteem. So their whole personality kind of looked different, and it was, they were, it was just a joy for me and encouraging to me to see how something like that really made a big impact. So, but that's just one of my favorites. Again, we have other things where bills are paid. Somebody may be about to have their power cut off, and we kind of put that need out there. And I've had that to happen before, where it was a big, amount, and I thought, oh no, this is going to be hard to be able to reach this this goal. And I had a bank one time said, we're going to pay this. So they had it paid for and prevented that power from being shut off. And it was in winter time. So I guess that's what really kind of helped them to feel the need to help fulfill that need, in that family. So, but a lot of things that have just been where we may struggle with trying to find resources that are out there, that like agencies. So Neighborhood Bridges has been such a blessing, so that, again, we can get that specific need met pretty quickly. And and I love that I'm in this position, because I get to, help make these things happen. So, yeah.
Yeah, and so you touched on something in the beginning that I want to go back to and just have you address a little bit with me. And it's something that I've been really talking about this year, is that, we want to be transparent in our work through Neighborhood Bridges. And, if we educate and inform the community about things they may not be aware of, they're coming forward, right? I mean, Etowah County is a bright star in our galaxy of Gateway for Kindness, for sure. But you mentioned earlier that in all of your work, in Neighborhood Bridges, we don't have any forms to fill out. There are no language barriers. I never even thought about the transportation issue that you raised. There are just no delays. We work on the assessment of trained and certified people, like the two lovely ladies I'm talking with today. But I think that it allows us to reach further, mm-hmm. and serve more deeply, and do so more quickly than what has been the traditional methods. And can you share anything more about that from your experience?
Are you saying
just how there's no qualification, there are no forms to fill out, there's no...
Absolutely. I mean, we kind of, it's so much easier, because when we were just relying on a community agency, it would be okay, you have an appointment next Thursday, and then you have to take all these, documents with you and transportation and that sort of thing. Sometimes families either were not able to do that, or that was too late to get something taken care of, and then it caused even more issues. So through Neighborhood Bridges, like, I can get the information needed, the amount that a bill is, or what sizes somebody needs, or what, whatever the actual need is, get the specifics, communicate that with Jennifer. I mean, in just a matter of minutes, even, she can have that posted, and it can go to everyone, all the subscribers, or Facebook or something, and then someone can see that, and it's just so instant. That's what is so, it's such a it helps us so much with our work, but also with the families, because then they're not like, oh, next Thursday, that's almost a week away, and I've got all this, or food needs. I mean, there's a lot of food insecurities, even though there are food banks in town with churches. Sometimes it's not like every first Monday of the month. Well, I mean, that's going to be, the kids are going to be hungry, or they're not going to have some things they need till next Thursday. And it may then just be a little tiny box of something. So if we post that today, we may have some gift cards come through to us, or some financial donations where we can go purchase the food and take it to them, and they can have it before next Monday, when they have to stand in a long line at a church food bank or something. Not saying that those aren't a blessing, but when we do have more urgent needs, it doesn't put more of a burden on the family of, how am I going to get there, or what am I going to do until my appointment with this agency comes up. So that's where that has really kind of taken that obstacle out of the way for our families, and for us trying to help them.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to speak to that, with these immediate utility bills. Okay, if your power is due to be cut off on Thursday, like Hope was sharing, they can't wait until next Thursday for an appointment, because they're going to be without power. On top of that, they're going to have a reconnect fee and late fees. And so they just get buried under these things. And one thing I did want to mention is the community support. And, we recently received our first kindness council member, or I don't know, received is the right word, but we now have our first kindness council member, and they donated $5,000. So I've been able to, when Hope or Lottie or Cindy reach out to me, you know what, we're going to go ahead and pay this in faith, because I have a cushion, with that. And then we're going to post the need. And so that's been amazing, just to be able to say, you know what, we're going to call today and take care of that power bill, or the water bill, or, Hope had an interesting need. I'll be brief about this, because I know we've gone long here, but she had a student at a school who's being raised by a great grandmother.
Yes.
And she has had continuous issues with lice, and which is making her miss school. So,
and the great grandmother raising her. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
interrupt,
but I was just going to say that she kept claiming she was treating it, and I'm sure she was, but wasn't, just not doing it correctly. So I reached out to a lice expert, this lady who, had been doing this and been trained to do it. She traveled with a fee, but she could even do it at a school or at the home. So she gave us an estimate of how much it would cost. I reached out to Jennifer, and she talked to her also, so they could kind of coordinate this. And we had her come out the Thursday before Thanksgiving break, and did the treatment at school. So that paid for that, because it was like $150. And the great grandmother who's raising these three children didn't have the funds for that. And this child's head was so infected because it had not been appropriately, treated. And so, because it's a great grandmother, she didn't know how to do it. She didn't know about the comb and how to do all that. Because going to a doctor, they're just going to give you a prescription. They're not going to actually do the treatment. So it was like, what are we going to do? And this child's missing school. So this is how we utilize the Neighborhood Bridges funds to pay for this service. And so the little girl, I was there the day I went to the treatment to see it, and she was so thrilled to get these bugs out of her hair. And it's sad to see that and to say that, but that really made an impact on her, because then she could return to school and she could finally get, that remedy. So
Yeah, I'm so glad you raised the community response, Jennifer, and everything that you all are talking about are things that we share across all our communities. Whether it's Ohio or Tennessee or Alabama or Mississippi, I mean, miles separate us, but the needs that you're discussing are common everywhere. And so I guess I just wanted to close with, I was having a meeting last time got to visit in Alabama, and our grand finale was our meeting with Jennifer there in Etowah County, and what a wonderful meeting that was. But earlier that week, I was in Tuscaloosa, and I was sitting in a meeting with key stakeholders, school leaders, city leaders, representatives from the University of Alabama, Education Foundation, and the Chamber of Commerce. And the president of the Chamber of Commerce we were just having a wonderful conversation about how can we drive more impact. And the president of the chamber said to me, is there any way that you could, like, on neighborhood bridges, rank things in terms of importance or emergency or something like that? And I thought of that for a while. I just sat there and I thought about it. I thought it was a great question, very thoughtful question. And what I said to him was, these are all emergencies. These are all lack of food, lack of clothing, lack of school supplies, lack of a bed to sleep in or utility payment. These are all emergencies in my estimation. And when I said that back to him, this calmness washed over his face. He says, I agree, but I just wonder if we can close with that, if, what your message would be to the community about what this really means to these children. And you talked about getting them back in school. That's the key, is making sure that they're there every day. That's where the magic happens. But right. They have to be there, and they have to be able to engage in their schoolwork.
Mm-hmm. You can go ahead. You can finish that.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, Neighborhood Bridges is amazing. I mean, I think back just earlier in my life when I was trying to meet needs. That's always just been in me to help people. And had I had this tool, I mean, it's amazing. Mm-hmm. I mean, I can't say enough good things about Neighborhood Bridges and the simplicity of it. Mm-hmm. And I think the beauty for me, more than anything, they get to see sort of the direct needs met with the students. And I'm more of an indirect participant in that. But seeing community come together has been pretty incredible to me. And because, everybody wants to help. They don't always know how to help or where the need is. But through Neighborhood Bridges, they do. And they're able to see their money take action. Yes. and have a face, not a face necessarily, because, we keep that anonymity and that sort of thing, but they see the need. They know, that it is going for a good cause. So it's a great thing.
It is. And I agree with her. I think that's a way the community feels like, okay, we're not just given to some, random calls or whatever that we don't know. This is going back into our community. And so especially with businesses or people we know or something, they see that need and they're like, oh, that school's close to my home, or that's in our then that kind of hits home with them. And like that, they want to give back. Like she said, they want to do something, but they really don't know. They don't see the needs like we see it firsthand. They might, but if we're the ones posting that and requesting the assistance, well, then that's even going to make them think, okay, well, this is legit. This is a true need, and it is to give into our community and to help somebody. So they're feeling, like they're helping in some way when they contribute. And so it just sort of all blends together, and they're helping and we're, fulfilling the needs. And it's a beautiful organization you have, and it's just been a lifesaver for us. I'm telling you, I thank you so much.
We appreciate you.
Yeah, I want to, well, we appreciate you. And I can't emphasize that enough. And I just want to amend something you said. I don't know that neighborhood bridges is the amazing part. I think the amazing part are on one side, we've got people like you, dedicated, trained, loving staff who advocate for children every day in schools. And then we just bridge that with what we knew was going to be true on the other side. And that is a community who, if they were made aware of these challenges, that they would come forward. And so I think that's the amazing part. We placed a bet on that. We've been right about that. Love and kindness is a renewable energy, right?
Very true. Very true.
And so we kind of banked that for neighborhood bridges, and it would not happen without you. And so thank you for everything that you do. And it's really this has really been fun getting to hear your message today, and I can't thank you enough.
Well, thank you. We enjoyed it.
Yeah. Okay.